Most men think if a woman wants you, she'll make it obvious. She won't. Not because she doesn't feel it, but because women usually don't reveal desire the way men expect them to. They reveal it in shifts, in the way they look at you a little longer than normal, in the way they suddenly become softer, more playful, more available, in the way the energy changes when it's just the two of you. And if you don't understand those shifts, you'll miss moments that were actually screaming attraction, just in a language most men were never taught to read. Because the truth is, when a woman wants to sleep with you, she usually won't announce it with words. She'll communicate it with tension, with permission, with emotional openings, with body language that says, I'm comfortable enough to let you closer. And no, I'm not talking about random flirting or fake attention. I'm talking about the kind of signals that happen when a woman is no longer just curious about you, she's imagining you differently. That's the part men miss. A woman can like your attention and still not want you physically. But when she starts wanting you in a more intimate way, certain behaviors begin to show up almost automatically. And once you know how to spot them, a lot of her mixed signals won't feel so mixed anymore. The first sign is the way she creates private energy with you. This one matters more than men realize. A woman who only sees you as casual conversation usually keeps the interaction in safe, social territory. Light jokes, surface-level talking, group energy, nothing too emotionally charged. But when she wants something deeper and more physical, she starts creating little moments that feel separate from everyone else. It's like she quietly pulls you into your own bubble. Maybe she keeps the conversation going after everyone else mentally checked out. Maybe she stands a little closer when no one's paying attention. Maybe the way she talks to you feels slightly different than how she talks to everyone else. Softer, slower, more personal. That shift matters, because attraction usually becomes physical after it becomes private. And this is where most men mess it up. They think if she's not being loud or obvious, nothing is there. But a lot of women don't escalate with boldness. They escalate with comfort. And comfort is often the first doorway to desire. If she keeps finding reasons to extend the moment with you, that's not random. That's interest trying to become intimacy. The next sign is eye contact that lingers just a little too long. And I need you to pay attention to this one because women say a lot with their eyes. A woman who wants you physically often looks at you in a way that feels loaded. Not just polite, not just friendly. Loaded, like she's reading you but also feeling you. And you can usually tell the difference. Friendly eye contact is casual. It comes and goes. But when there's desire in it, it has weight. She holds it a little longer. She breaks it, then comes back to it. She looks at your mouth for a second too long. She gives you that look where it almost feels like she's thinking something she's not saying, because she probably is. Women rarely reveal desire directly. They reveal it in hesitation, in pauses, in those little moments where the energy gets thicker and neither of you says anything for a second. And if she's giving you that kind of eye contact consistently, especially when the conversation gets quieter or more personal, don't ignore it. That's often one of the earliest signs that her attraction isn't just emotional anymore. Now let's go deeper, because this is where it gets more revealing. Another strong sign is when she starts inviting subtle physical closeness. Not necessarily big dramatic touch. I'm talking about the small things. The kind of touch that technically doesn't have to happen, but somehow keeps happening anyway. She touches your arm when she laughs. She doesn't move away when your legs brush. She finds excuses to be physically near you. She leans in instead of leaning back. And no, one touch by itself doesn't mean everything. But repeated comfort with closeness, that means a lot. Because when a woman is attracted to you physically, her body often starts cooperating before her words do. That's why body language can tell you more than conversation ever will. A woman who doesn't want that kind of chemistry usually creates space. A woman who does want it often starts removing that space in very quiet ways. And this is important. The most powerful signal is not just that she touches you. It's that she seems relaxed while doing it. Natural, unbothered. Almost like she's testing how it feels to be physically connected to you. That's not something men should force or rush, but it is something smart men should notice, because this is where attraction quietly becomes obvious. Another sign men constantly underestimate is when she starts making the conversation more suggestive, without making it explicit. This is such a female move. She may not say exactly what she wants, but she'll start nudging the conversation into a more intimate emotional lane. She'll tease you differently, she'll ask more personal questions. She'll say things that have just enough tension in them to make you wonder what she really means. And usually, that's the point. She wants to see if you can feel the energy without ruining it. That's what a lot of men don't understand. Women are often less turned on by aggressive words and more turned on by emotional tension, by implication, by chemistry that builds without being forced. So if she's creating that kind of playful, charged, almost dangerous little back and forth with you, she's not just being nice, she's checking whether the energy between you can hold more. And if you miss this part, you'll misunderstand her completely. Because a woman who wants you rarely wants to be rushed. She wants to be read. That's a big difference. Now let's talk about one of the most overlooked signs of all. When she starts making herself emotionally available to you at unusual times. This one is powerful because desire is not always just physical. A lot of the time, a woman becomes open physically after she feels emotionally drawn in. So when she starts texting you late, replying faster, checking in more, or keeping the conversation alive when she really doesn't have to pay attention, that doesn't always mean she wants to sleep with you. But when that emotional availability is paired with flirtation, softness, curiosity, and comfort, now it means a lot more. Because women invest attention where they feel emotional pull. An emotional pull often becomes physical attraction when trust and chemistry are both present. That's why some of the strongest signs are not loud at all. They're consistent. She keeps returning. She keeps opening. She keeps giving you access. And access is never random. A woman who wants more from you often starts making it easier for you to be part of her space. Mentally, emotionally, and eventually physically. And that leads to another huge sign. She starts making it easy to be alone with her. This is a big one, because a woman who doesn't feel that kind of attraction usually keeps things in safe environments. Group settings, public settings, casual settings, places where the energy can stay controlled. But when she wants you in a more intimate way, she often stops resisting one-on-one space. In fact, sometimes she starts creating it. Maybe she suggests hanging out in a more relaxed setting. Maybe she lingers after everyone leaves. Maybe she finds reasons not to end the night too quickly. Maybe she gives you opportunities that are a little too convenient to be accidental. And no, being alone together doesn't automatically mean she wants sex. That would be immature and stupid to assume. But when a woman who is already showing attraction also starts making privacy easier, that changes the equation. Because privacy is where desire either disappears or gets louder. And women know that. So if she keeps allowing the moment to become more personal, more isolated, more emotionally charged, that usually means she's not afraid of where the tension might go. And that is not a small signal. Now here's one that men often feel but don't fully understand. She starts caring more about how she appears around you. And yes, women do this even when they pretend they're not doing it. If she likes you in a deeper physical way, you'll often notice small changes in how she presents herself when she knows she's going to see you. Maybe her energy is more polished. Maybe she seems more intentional. Maybe she adjusts her hair, posture, outfit, or overall vibe in ways that feel just slightly heightened around you. And before some guy says, well, women dress nice anyway. Yes, of course they do. That's not the point. The point is the shift. It's when she becomes more aware of how you see her. That's the real signal, because attraction makes people self-conscious in a very specific way. Not insecure, aware. Aware of your eyes, aware of your attention, aware of whether you're noticing her the way she wants to be noticed. And if she's subtly turning up that feminine energy around you, especially while also showing comfort and chemistry, don't brush that off. Sometimes the things men dismiss fastest are exactly what mean the most. And this next sign, this is one women rarely fake. She gets nervous, but not distant. That combination tells you everything. Because when a woman is physically attracted to you, she may become slightly more self-aware, slightly more playful, slightly more awkward in this very human, very feminine way. But she doesn't withdraw. That's the difference. She might laugh a little too much. She might lose her train of thought. She might act composed one second and suddenly shy the next. But she still stays engaged. She still keeps the energy going. That kind of nervousness is often a sign that the attraction is real. Because when a woman genuinely feels tension with you, she's not always smooth. She feels it too. And honestly, that's one of the clearest signs that the chemistry isn't one-sided. A woman who feels nothing usually stays emotionally flat. A woman who feels something often becomes slightly unpredictable. And that unpredictability, that little crack in her usual composure, is often where the truth slips out. Now let's talk about the sign that gets men in trouble when they misunderstand it. She starts opening up more deeply. This is where you need maturity. Because some men see emotional closeness and immediately sexualize it. That's exactly how you ruin trust and kill attraction. But if a woman is opening up to you emotionally while also showing clear flirtation, comfort, private energy, physical ease, and growing tension, then yes, it can absolutely mean she's moving toward a more intimate connection with you. Because women often don't separate emotional and physical desire the way men do. For a lot of women, the two feed each other. She wants to feel seen before she feels safe enough to fully let go. She wants to feel understood before she feels open enough to get physically closer. So if she starts letting you into her thoughts, her emotions, her softer side, don't treat that casually. That's not just conversation, that's trust becoming chemistry. And chemistry becomes dangerous in the best way when trust is involved. Now here's where it gets even more obvious. She starts responding to your masculine energy instead of just your words. This is huge, because once a woman is truly attracted, she doesn't just listen to what you say. She reacts to how you say it. Your tone, your calmness, your eye contact, your confidence, your ability to hold tension without rushing to fill it. That's when you'll notice she starts melting a little around you. She softens, she slows down, she becomes more receptive. And if you've ever felt that moment where a woman suddenly seems more feminine, more relaxed, more drawn in, when you stay grounded and present, that's not in your head, that's attraction responding to energy. Because women don't just desire looks, they often desire presence. The feeling of a man who can stay calm in the tension instead of panicking and overperforming. And honestly, that's where most men lose women. Not because the attraction wasn't there, but because they got too eager, too obvious, too thirsty, too fast. And the second that happens, the tension collapses. So if she's showing you these signs, the worst thing you can do is force the moment. Read her, match her, lead with awareness. Because desire grows best when it feels mutual, safe, and unforced. And now we need to talk about the sign that usually comes right before something real happens. She stops giving you maybe energy. This is the shift. At first, attraction can feel uncertain. Maybe she likes you. Maybe she's just flirting. Maybe she's curious. But when a woman genuinely wants you in a more intimate way, her energy eventually becomes more cooperative, more open, more responsive, less confusing. She starts making it easier instead of harder. She replies with more warmth. She follows your lead more naturally. She doesn't keep throwing cold signals into hot moments. And this matters because real desire usually reduces friction. Not all at once, not in a dramatic movie scene, but enough that you can feel the difference. You stop feeling like you're chasing, and you start feeling like she's quietly meeting you halfway. That's when you know the attraction is no longer just playful, it's active, it's alive. And if you've ever felt that moment where a woman's energy goes from "I like talking to you" to "I want to see where this goes," you already know how different that feels. You can't fake that, and you definitely can't beg for it. It has to arrive naturally. That's why the smartest thing you can do is stop obsessing over one giant sign and start reading the pattern. Because the truth is, women rarely reveal desire in one dramatic move. They reveal it in clusters: private energy, lingering eye contact, comfort with closeness, playful tension, emotional availability, ease around being alone with you, nervousness without withdrawal, softness in response to your presence. And that final shift where she stops acting unsure, that pattern matters more than any single moment. And if you learn how to recognize it, you'll stop misreading women who are genuinely attracted to you, and you'll also stop chasing women who are never really there in the first place. Which honestly is just as important. Because not every smile means desire. Not every late night text means intimacy. Not every flirt means she wants more. But when the right signs start stacking up and the energy keeps deepening instead of fading, that's usually your answer. Attraction usually shows up in behavior before it ever shows up in words. And what feels small to you may be emotionally loud to her. So if you've been confused by a woman's energy lately, stop focusing only on what she says. Watch what she allows. Watch what she repeats. Watch how she changes around you. That's where the truth usually lives. And if you're honest, you've probably seen some of these signs before. You just didn't know what they meant. So now I want to ask you something. What's one sign a woman gave you that made you realize later she was definitely into you? Drop it in the comments, and if you want more videos that decode female attraction, body language, dating psychology, and the signs women rarely say out loud, stay close. Because the men who understand subtle attraction usually stop getting played by confusion and start seeing things exactly as they are.